we are here in my yard looking at this lightning strike, and it's an interesting lightning strike. Nate, you see that the and we're here with the tree doctor, Nate Mason.
Oh,
say hi to the folks on YouTube.
Hello.
All right, good dude, man, knows his stuff. Anyhow, so it really looks like, even from the other side, that rip, the lightning really started here, and that rip just is where the wood got kind of pushed away, ripped up a little bit, but there's really not any sign at all of any lightning strike in the top of the tree. So my buddy says he thinks if the tree's wet enough, the lightning can run down on the outside and then jump over at some point. It doesn't have to necessarily run through the tree itself. But in any case, what we're looking at here is clearly, you know, a couple inches of good wood, and then there's some decay in there, probably associated with some of those old wounds there. Like that right there looks like, you know, a healed over cut, which then sprouted out right about here with a little bit of new growth here, which I always try to leave the sprouts around the old wounds, as you can see on the tree here. But now let's get over here and take a closer look at the base of this tree. And I mean, it is pretty shattered here, man. It's not looking too pretty at all. What are you thinking there, Nate?
So,
I mean,
do you think this is a lightning strike from last night?
2 nights ago. I was here when it happened. I heard it. I saw it. It like lit up the whole back of the house.
Do they typically like scorch the top of the tree?
I mean, there's no typical lightning strike. I've seen so much weird stuff happen over the years. But I mean, clearly here now the question is, what are we going to do about it, right? And what's your thought?
Well, I didn't think there's too much debate for a guy with a bucket truck, and it's right next to the end of his driveway. Because I mean, look at the base. We got like a lot of damage to this bunch of fruit over on the side.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it is leaning though, not the same direction as the damage. You know,
Exactly. I was going to point that out. I'm glad you pointed that.
Over here.
Right. So the tree leans kind of out that way, right? Pretty much straight that way, yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got the damage is on the opposite side of the trunk, so all the weight's over here. You know what I'm planning on doing? I got to go up there and do an examination. Just make sure the whole top of the tree is intact and it's all solid. But I got to throw a couple cables up there. But I got this ground anchor that's at a customer's house. It was holding up a statuary before. Thing's a piece of concrete the size of that old bucket there. I'm planning on probably sinking it in down over by the telephone pole right there, and then running either a cable or just some lines up to the top of the tree and just ground anchor it with a little bit of give so that it can move in the wind a little bit, just to protect the houses.
Do you really want to keep the tree that much when it's like this
Okay, so
unstable and damaged? Or, I mean, not necessarily unstable, but this damaged, you know, aesthetically compromised. And
well, let's just talk about that. So, you know, if that wasn't just a blown apart by lightning, and that was just a little bit of decay on the side of the tree, you know, I mean, that is a pretty good percentage. What kind of percentage of the overall trunk would you say that is?
Well,
25%? Do you think that's 30%?
Yeah, probably. And it's all the way through the live wood on one side into the heartwood.
Honestly, I'm thinking of taking a strap and just sucking that thing back up there and just leaving this, not even making any, maybe just cutting some of the loose stuff off there. Take a strap or pull it back up with the loader and just lightly strap it in place up there with some supports.
Well,
and
I'm sure the tree would prefer that.
And then back out. You know, it's an important tree. I got a deck over here. I own both. Actually, own both these houses. Got this deck, so that's all your western. You know, that sun's going down over there, right? And southern. No, this is an important shade tree. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know though. I just feel like there's a lot of. I'm not. Maybe my risk tolerance is lower than yours. Maybe you're more comfortable seeing damaged trees standing. But I'm not the one that would be cutting the tree down either and like running the chainsaw. So maybe I don't.
I mean, the other option would be, you know, to take a good bit of weight out of the top of the tree. Now that we've got some compromise here, we go up in the very top of the tree, and you start making 3-4 inches cuts on all those branches. You know, all those branch tips. You're taking so much more of the weight out. Almost, you know, you balancing it out. Like I'm just trying to take as much of the live growth from the tips where I have the most leverage to reduce the stress on the tree. But honestly, I don't think the trees are going to fall over right now. I think that it's like how many. The question is not whether it needs to be cut down now or not, but how long before that decay really starts working through there.
Right.
And I mean, and you went in there and
pretty big hole.
that's a pretty big hole. Yeah, I hear you, man. So then the question is like, I mean, on the 5-year plan, it's oak. You know, I mean, it's not like a tulip tree that can rot out in 6 months, right?
No, but I'm saying, I mean, what about the fact that oaks around here are getting bacterial leaf scorch and oak wilt so quickly?
Well, that's the other issue. These two already got the bacterial leaf scorch, and they got, they got honey mushrooms growing around the base of the trees too. That's not pretty at all. And you can see how hard I cut that one to get it off the wires. The electric company came in here and they wanted 25 feet of clearance from those wires, which is 5 feet from the base of these trees over here. So I went in there with the bucket and I whacked the heck out of them. So they're already looking weak. And I mean, I lost the last one on the end a few years back, 3-4 years ago. I don't think these guys will be here in another 5, certainly not in another 10 years. And then what am I gonna have? I got no trees in the backyard all of a sudden.
I guess you gotta replant. Time for some.
Yeah.
Look,
I let this little maple. Anybody else would have cut that maple down, but I knew those oaks would be coming down eventually, so I left the maple in place.
Oh, yeah.
I got to fix it. It's all kind of weird looking because it's trying to grow up underneath, right between 2 oaks, and it's a Norway maple. Obviously, not your most desirable tree, but nah, man, like, dude, I don't even have air conditioning in this house. I mean, I'm gonna be
you don't. That's
no AC in the house. You know what I mean? Like, it's just gonna bake, right? I mean, even that sweet gum there, I've been leaving that, and that
I
is
mean, the
just,
sweet gum has got a great structure. I love that.
yeah, well, but it just is
Like,
a
that looks like a
nasty
fun
tree.
tree
It's
to
just a
climb.
mess of a tree there. Looks like it was topped to me. You see all those topping cuts there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see those topping cuts? That was before I moved here 20 years ago.
So
you know?
those.
But I've come in and shortened it. I've brought it back. I've done some significant reduction, and man, that thing is just, we don't lose a branch on that thing. But the sweet gums are very dysfunctional. They just make a mess over the driveway and the roof and the gutters and all that. But
Dysfunctional.
yeah, they're not too much fun. I was actually thinking about getting some Florell out on that tree, but haven't ever done it. Every year I think I should get some Florell out on the street.
A bottle of it, I'll give it to you. You can spray it one day.
Oh,
You got a leftover bottle?
Uh-oh, this is, now we gotta read the signs. See what that is? That's a little dead bird.
Ooh.
Must have fallen out of some nest somewhere. That's not a good omen for the tree, man. Dead birds usually mean death in the family.
Changing your opinion?
I don't know about changing my opinion, but I've got to reconsider these things. I mean, I try to pay attention to the signs. I mean, it's a pretty significant tree. I mean, it's not going to kill anybody. It's not going to go through the house and kill anybody if it goes. And we got good roots on the backside, you know.
Yeah.
And I could put that ground anchor in there. I mean, for me, that's not that much trouble to put that ground anchor in. You know what I mean?
How much time are you buying yourself when you know the rot's going to start proceeding inwards from the torn up roots?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how much time would you say? 5 years? You think
Yeah, I would say under 5 years.
5 years?
So if you got the.
All right. So what if I think I might sell the property in 4 or 5 years? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think you want to try to market that property with a damaged tree like that.
well, I understand, but I could live with it for 4 years, cut
Yeah.
the tree down, and then put the for sale sign out front, you know, or whatever.
You think it'd be better to take it down later when it gets more damaged and more deteriorated?
I don't have any problem taking that tree down no matter what. I can always back guy. I mean,
I got the bucket, man.
I got the bucket, exactly. I'm a bucket guy. I'm not gonna put my life on the line to climb that tree. I set up right behind it. Yeah, no, I'm cool with getting that tree. I'm not afraid of that tree, man. I love that tree,
All right,
bro.
well, heal it up. Maybe you're the tree doctor.
All right, thanks for coming in and checking it out with us, me, Nate. All right, take care.